The Interparty Advisory Council, IPAC, in Ekiti State held its election on the 16th of March 2026, and the man who emerged the chairman is Honourable Adeniji Akinropo Philip of the Accord Party. He is in our studio. Honourable Akinropo, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you.
If I may ask you, how easy was that election for you?
Actually, the election was a bit tough because of the shenanigans around us. Some of our chairmen are with the other camp, which is the incumbent camp. But as God will have it, we defeated them. Though it wasn't easy, but God gave us that victory, and it was a victory for democracy. And it attests to the fact that we are going to, give them some kind of the blow they won't expect for this next election.
IPAC is supposed to be an advisory council.
Council, yes.
But now you speak about camps. How does that?
Actually, there has been factions whereby you see some of our guys who are chairmen are pitching tent, with some people in government to grab the power and use it against what IPAC does not stand for. And that is why we are trying to, make sure it doesn't work that way. It should be for fairness, equity, and justice to all parties. So, and with what we have now, we are hoping that everything will, run accordingly, according to our constitution that established IPAC.
What does IPAC stand for?
It stands for whereby all the parties, it stands for inclusivity, it stands for gender sensitivity, it stands for justice, fairness to all parties, and waving into where there is rancors among political parties. And whereby you can know about political parties that litigation are all around. So advisory council is all about, making sure that there is enabling environment for every party to strive in a given election.
What is the council, or who is the council expected to advise?
The government concerning inclusivity, concerning gender sensitivity, and concerning, whereby it happens that in any election, winner wants to take it all. But participation is required, whereby every party comes into an election. Every other party wants to, have sense of relevance. But in case of this our country or our state, winners want to grab it all. And that is why we are saying they should give us a level playing ground. And we have said that any further election, we are going to participate, be it local government, assembly, reps, senate, so that it will really go round. Let every other party flex their muscle and grab whichever they can grab. So, and it gives room for participation.
Now, how many parties are in the council at the moment in Ekiti State?
At the moment, we have 16 political parties. We have 18, but 2 other parties like Bood and Youth Party are not presently in Ekiti represented.
So when you said the election was difficult or was not easy, what exactly was the issue?
The issue was haven't made arrangements for the election. Some of the chairmen that came in were asking for the postponement. But as God will have it, we had the election and I emerged as the chairman.
How are we going to see the present IPAC different from the former leadership?
Yeah, the present leadership is going to be very different from what it used to be, because we are going to, change the narratives. And what the public should expect of us is justice, fairness, and unity. We are trying to do a kind of reconciliation where necessary to make people see where we should come together as political parties, and whereby people in power will not refer to us as small parties, because what we have is platforms. Any political party is regarded to as platform, and it's only the name that differs. They have the same clout. They have the same law backing it up as a political party. But you see some people referring to it as small parties. So when you trace down the history, PDP, APC started as a nucleus circle before it comes to what it is today. And so any other party can grow. So we want to create an atmosphere of growth for every other party to strive, whichever way they can do it. But at least sanity must be put in place, not just business as usual.
Are we expecting a smooth relationship between IPAC and the government?
Yes, because it serves as an advisory council. We are not to stand as opposition to government. We are to advise and serve as a watchdog to whatever government is doing. If they are not doing it right, we have to call their attention, to whatever they are not doing right. So, and that's what we stand for, and it's going to fly this time around.
Your original party is Accord.
Yes, my party is Accord.
Yeah, you have a candidate in the 2026 governorship election.
Yes.
Many parties are having one problem or another. How are you seeing these problems, and how these problems affect the 2026 Ekiti governorship election?
Actually, the problem here and there has made this election not too visible. But as it goes on, you can see people are not even doing as if there's campaign anywhere. What you can see now is a kind of one-party system, whereby you can always see the APC posters all around. Because of the signage law that has inflicted 5 million naira on each political party before you can place a poster, it has really discouraged some of the to come out for campaign. So thereby, but I can assure you, before the next 2-3 weeks, parties will be coming out to campaign. And actually, campaign has been going on house to house. But before the next 3 weeks, people will be coming public to sell their products. Because what we sell is our products. Like myself, we sell ODF, which is me, David Falegan, as our products. And we believe that by the time we go to the election proper, something better will come out of it.
Talking about the issue of signage, what is going to be the role of IPAC in seeing that there is an open, level playing field for everyone?
Yes, like in my own administration with my team, we are going to look into it and, organize a kind of rapport with the signage body to let them see how their decisions has affected the smooth running of campaign in Ekiti State, and it has given chance for one-party system, which is not supposed to be. So we are going to, meet with them, talk to them where need be for a kind of change in their kind of decision and their policies to disenfranchise some other party from, participating in this electioneering process.
Talking about the 5 million naira tariff, is it the fee that is too high, or the condition at all that there should be some money paid?
The fee is too high, and it's not visible, because we wouldn't even know if the present government has paid, because they are in charge of the signage. So nobody can get us any evidence of payment, yet they are doing it. They are pasting posters going against even their own law. So thereby, for not giving other party that exact environment to strive, it means they are still doing it winners take it all. And that is not what we stand for. Every other party should be allowed to participate adequately in an electioneering process.
There are rumors of a possibility of a coalition among parties. What is the place of accord and your position as the chairman of IPAC?
Yes, we've been clamoring for inclusivity and relevance, which seems so unattainable in the state. And it has called for people coming together to form a strong alliance to, create room for relevance in politics. And it's happened everywhere. Once some people have been sidelined from participating, they come together and form alliance against the forces that is, antagonizing them. And what you have said about coalition, yes, we have a coalition in place of at least 10 political parties who has, made up their mind to come together and produce a sole candidate against the incumbent. So, and the way we are seeing it, we have gone far about our arrangement, and there's no going back. We are going to achieve it because we have the internal mechanism to make it happen.
Do you want to tell us about these 10 parties?
Yeah, if I may say, Accord is one of them. PDP is one of them. AA, ADP, APP. I've mentioned ADC, I think.
No, I don't think so.
ADC is part of us. AMPP. Then we have AAC. So I think I've mentioned almost 8 now. So
I didn't hear APC among them.
There's a block of APC. A whole block of APC is part of the coalition. Those aggrieved body of APC are with us.
What does this coalition intend to achieve?
We intend to achieve participation, change in government, equity, justice, fairness. We are feeling that the government in power has not done much. So, and we feel we could do better. We feel that the inflow does not justify the outflow.
Within the APC, consensus was impossible. That's within a party.
Yeah.
How do you see consensus working among 10 parties?
Yeah, it depends on the internal mechanism. Where you do things in love, producing a sole candidate won't be a problem. And even if I choose as an accord to eat the election alone, that's on my own risk, at my own risk. So whichever of the party that choose to eat the election solely can do so. But also we have really envisaged those things before it happens. Thereby, our internal mechanism has an arrangement to take care of whoever that wants to leave. So it won't bring about any change. Because we've gone ahead even to the unit to have our representatives. So whatever you are taking out of the coalition does not really affect our intentions.
Some people are worried at the moment about the possibility of violence in the Ekiti election.
Actually, violence cannot be ruled out of any election. But we have to look as IPAC the way of minimizing violence. And in any election, if anybody is bringing violence, nobody is an island of violence, because we wouldn't know what another person has, with them. So that is why everybody should toe the path of peace, because we are brothers. We are not going to fight, but we are going to use what we have, which is vote, to make sure our own candidate emerge the winner of this next election.
The incumbent governor and the candidate of the APC, during some of the inaugurations of the campaign council, also spoke in line with his own, attachment to a peaceful campaign. Do you
actually,
align
we've
with it?
seen most incumbent government align with peace accords about any election, but you see them violating it because of being desperate for nothing. So you rig where you are popular. You create violence where you are popular. When you become so unpopular, your violence cannot bring you back. So thereby, saying we imbibe peace in an election is not by mouth, it's from actions and inactions. So thereby, we appeal to the government to, follow a peaceful path.
The incumbent governor has received much endorsement from power blocks and past governors in the state and a lot of eminent personalities, obas and all that in the state. Do you see this governor being unseated by any coalition?
Actually, it's going to be between the masses and the bourgeois. So if you want to go by mathematics, in Ekiti, those that are rich enough cannot even be more than 5%. So how can 5% stand the way of 95%? So it's going to be a reaction, natural reaction. So whereby only the bourgeois, only people that has been past administrators or governors have said, yes, you are a sole appointed, anointed candidate. They can't force that decision on the throats of the masses. It won't percolate. So, and that's what they don't know. So, they are becoming so unpopular, and I want to tell you what they will see is not what they think, because they cannot come together and manipulate us.
Honourable Philip, do you see your role as the IPAC chairman conflicting with the opposition as a chairman of Accord Party?
No, it's not going to conflict though, but what we mean is that whereby there is no equity, justice and fairness, altercation is meant to, arise, because we are all, human beings. And where your voices are not allowed, you have to, cry for what belongs to you. And that is what we are just saying, that this government has not been fair enough to the masses. We are not fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for Ekiti as a state. And that is what we stand for.
And you want the government changed?
Yeah. If I'm asked, I want to change. So I'm not part of that endorsement. And my party is not part of the endorsement.
We've been speaking with the new IPAC chairman, Honourable Adeniji Akinropo Philip. We thank you for your time.
Thank you once again.
People of the Fountain.